happened is like they moved a whole bunch of these different people over.
Yeah.
They like, and I don't think they were full apartments. So like if I look at, I was doing something. But if I look at, find out where the filters, right? So if I go back and look at if I go look at like, because you can kind of see before it was like, in this one at the R3 level,
Yeah.
it was Kia, but then like some of the people like moved over. So and this is, I'm just gonna show you. So like it's pretty clean. Like uh, Davide's entire team
Yep.
for Davide's entire team moved over, with the exception of Victor Burke, right? So
Okay.
Victor Burke didn't move over, right? So that was like one team. So I'm assuming all the people that kind of in there, and I don't know how those cost centers were ever set up, because no one ever showed them to me, and I mean like I know how like my cost center numbers, like let me just see if I can find it. Just open. Sorry, I'm on another screen. Just open.
No, I figured.
So previously, on my cost center for like let's say VLT, the
Yep.
core VLT, I had my cost center, and then as I like actually when I it then as it gets into different ones. So like for example, this is everybody based in Spain.
Yep.
This this is uh this is everyone. This would be were salespeople, but these two were based in Holland, so they
Okay.
had a different cost,
Three
a different
ones.
one,
Yeah.
Austria,
I see the threes.
and and then essentially, no matter how people were structured, it was I had people in the U.S. and then everyone who was in Canada went to a cost center. So like depending on like what department they worked in within my group, that's kind of how everything was broken up. And so I mean, so that's kind of how I got. That's how I have it structured, right? Like that's how they
That's
set
how
it up
we're
for.
doing it going forward. You weren't telling me what it was, right? You were
Yeah,
showing.
yeah, that's
Okay.
what it was. That's what it was. I don't know what they're doing going forward, but like
Oh,
that's
okay.
kind of how they had it. That's how they had it set up before, which is like every employee that was below my hierarchy,
Yeah.
it was below my hierarchy by country, got their own cost center number. So essentially like Team VLT had a cost center number for the U.S.
Which
and one
is
for
which
Canada.
is fine as long as it's consistent and it's. Yeah, I assume everything. It's SG&A and sales are separated. Like if.
Yeah, so these are all SG&A. This is
Okay.
all SG&A stuff. And so then these ones, so and then it gets a little bit, I can't remember, like, um, so these ones, I
Yeah.
go look at it. So these ones are services, right? So everyone has like, everyone has to charge out their time to keep
Yep.
Dalvin's
Yep.
group
Yep. Yep.
100%, right? So it's slightly different. Um, but if I go back and I look at Gary's group. Well, Gary's group, they don't charge their time out. They're so so Gary's group and
Yeah.
everyone down below Gary, they don't charge their time out. It's 100%. It's a 1-to-1 to the market, right? So when we're looking at the cost,
And this
we're
is
looking at,
service, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
cost of service, and so they're tied right to there. But what I don't know is like when they moved all those, I don't know. So Gary's one should have a different. So the way Gary's team is
Yeah.
every single market has their own cost center number. That's fairly straightforward. Um, when I look at
Yep.
So when they handed it over, it wasn't like a ring fence person. So this person
Yep.
in green, this person in green, and this person in green.
Yep.
These guys came, people in green came over from, so they worked under Dorota, and they got pulled over. So it's like, for example, like I just don't know where,
Yeah, the U.S.
two people in the U.S., two people in Canada. I just, I don't know where I don't I have no idea what cost center those numbers were in.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, I've got Joachim Palmer, and everyone below him, this whole group,
Yeah.
from PI. And so now this is just essentially these guys all, all the cost of this mark goes to Cinna, so it's 1-to-1.
And they're all
that's
in. They're all in the same region, country, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they're all Sweden. They're all Sweden.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really just trying to figure out how to get a clean view, how to get a clean view of all the people.
Yeah.
And to try to understand, how things are set up, to understand, are we actually over there? And I think the thing is, we just need to make sure that we use consultant, particularly because of all, like, not my side, not my, let's say, SG&A, but this side,
Yeah.
they use outside spending. So it's like, you got to be really careful, as we were talking about last week, is like, we just got to be really careful that we're checking outside spending, when we're doing it and balancing it, right? Because,
I almost. Oh, sorry. I'm preaching to the choir. I was gonna say it would almost make sense, given the nature of the consultants, maybe to have that as a cost center,
yeah,
and just know like that. Like if there's a dollar outside of what we're expecting, there's no. We know the issue is. Would
Yeah.
you? Because that's how even on Mike's side he does. I mean, how it's done. It wasn't his choice, but his. It's here nor there. There's a cost center for project travel, and any free thing we basically straight line it from the last year. It all gets charged out, but because we have it in one cost center, like anything we know what it is. Like there's no, we even can exclude it from reporting by taking out one cost center.
Yeah, 'cause you really should be looking at the two. You should be looking at the two. And it's really just one. It's in most of the markets, it's like one consultant. You just need to, like, kind of got to get dialed in,
Right.
because, like, in Eagle, right, like, and at some point, let me see if I can find this file. Um, okay. So this is when I was doing some work with EY.
Yep.
So
Yep.
So what EY does, so these are able, like this is where, so this is the US only, for
Okay.
the US market, but it shows like all our able costs. They did some analysis. Now this was like a 12 months, 12 months prior to close.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
What's ATOC?
ATOC it's Atlantic Technical Operations Center. So we have two facilities in in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So this one is the customer.
Okay.
This is a shared service site.
Okay. Thank you.
It's the same facility, two different buildings, but
Yep.
we kept ring fence around. So this group is supporting Kansas and Rhode Island. This who supports just Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And we could take on more there, but that's what they're focused on. And they also are like they have the data center for Virginia and Ohio in the ATOC facility.
Okay.
And so when you look at it, right, like they've got a EY tag it, right? So they've got all these different markets and all the costs. So it's like I think it's almost the point where we've got to like you can kind of see they go up and down, but like I'm sure there's a way to how they tag it, but like that's what we've got to just make sure we're doing is we're looking at all these numbers,
Yep.
and then we're looking at all this. So I mean I can send this over to you if you'd like, if it helps, but
yeah,
it's old, yeah.
I'll take everything that you send.
Okay.
Especially so for VLT, so that's also R&D, SG&A, and services. Do you still, and you're doing all of it, right? VLT.
Yeah, not R&D. They don't have R&D.
Okay.
So I've got just the services part, and then the VLT, commercial strategy and operations.
Right. What is what is your next step in terms of whatever the next phase is of?
Yeah, so the services piece, mine is Gary's. So like, I mean, to simplify it, keep it confidential.
Yeah.
The Gary stays with everyone below Gary stays with me,
Mm-hmm.
and Davide's team for the most part is moving over to services. So that'll be a combined services group for the company.
Yep.
So that'll all get but like I do think we need to get before we hand it over. I'd like to be in a position where we can have everything dialed in, so we know all the cost centers map, what the budget is.
Have you heard anything in terms of when that trigger is going to be pulled in the system? Did that come up at all?
No, because we're just talking. That's what I was in Vegas for. We were talking the structure.
Right.
In there, my guess May, June would be they're in there.
Okay.
But it's just making sure we button everything up so that because I just don't want to hand it over. Like I think it'll cause even more chaos. Like at least if we can get this under control now.
Yep.
How all the different cost centers and what's everything there and where we've got and what are the issues before we then try to merge stuff again. And I can even kind of help you like dial in. It's because some will go to delivery, but I can kind of give you some guidance on what if we can pull all the cost center numbers, get all the cost center numbers, and like with the people, if we can take that pass, if we can like start with that, and then I can actually go in and help you kind of like tag it so that when we're separating it, where you're
I'm using the same terminology.
Yeah, I'll also make it so it's easier for you to hand it over.
Sure.
I'll be behind the scenes of like because it's like 90% of Dominique's is going over, but I can give you like if you can give me all the cost center numbers for everything, and we get like people cost center numbers so that we've got all the mapping done.
Yep.
I will then go in like if you could do that, I can then go in and give you all of the all of the different all the different like 90% will go to Dominic with just small carve outs. I'll tell you what those are likely to be, so that you can plan for it.
That's perfect. It's a perfect next step. And
that's way when you hand over. We do what was never done for me, but I hand over hand over something clean.
Sure. You want to make that the to do for next Friday, for Thursday? I mean.
Yeah, I'm out next week.
You're allowed to take vacation?
Yeah, I have to.
Wow.
I didn't do it last year, then my family got angry at me. So,
no, that's fine. So your next availability.
Yeah, I'll be back to it like the week after
Uh,
next. But what I can do is I'll share this.
Perfect.
I'll share this file with you. I mean,
Yep.
it's got a ton of information. Just be careful, and then I will send you an email on
Yep.
like how to filter it so that you can get the different.
That's
so you can
perfect.
get-
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay. Very good.
Okay.
I'll get started if I have any questions. Otherwise, have a good break. But I'm sure I have a feeling we'll talk about something at some point before then.
Okay.
But,
Yeah,
all right.
if you need me, just ping me.
I will.
If you get a blocker, ping me. I'll be watching emails.
Sounds
I'm
good.
not hanging out at the house.
You can't resist.
Well, you go have coffee in the morning, and I got with my niece and waiting, or it's like I'm waiting for my wife, and
Right.
so you sit there. So
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
okay,
All right,
cheers.
bye
Have
now.
a good one.